We're all more connected than ever before, right? We've got the world at our fingertips. But have you ever stopped to ask what that constant connection is actually costing our ability to focus? Well, today, we're going to dive into exactly that, how to beat digital distraction and get your mental clarity back. So let's just start with a number that might just blow your mind. Anywhere from 200 to 500. That is how many times researchers think the average person checks their phone every single day. Each one of those little checks is an interruption, and when you add them all up, they are creating a huge problem. And look, this isn't about wasting a few minutes on social media. It goes way deeper than that. It's a fundamental threat to the things we create. As this quote puts it so perfectly, an addiction to distraction is the death of your creative production. I mean, the stakes for our work, our passions, our legacy, they honestly couldn't be higher.
Okay, so let's get into the science of what's happening here. Because this constant distraction, it's not just a bad habit, it has a real, measurable cost to your brain and how well it performs.
Neuroscientists actually have a name for this whole phenomenon: digital dementia. Now, think about it like this. When you wake up in the morning, you have a full well of cognitive bandwidth. That's your brain's total power for the day. But every single time you check your phone or glance at an email or watch a quick video, you're draining just a little bit of that really precious resource. And the reason that well drains so fast is because of something called attention residue. It's a fascinating concept. Every time you switch your focus away from what you're doing to look at a screen, a piece of your brain's attention gets left behind, kind of stuck on that last email or that last notification you saw. So by 9 in the morning, your focus can already be completely fragmented, and your creative energy is just running on fumes. So here's the bottom line. Your ability to focus is finite. It's not endless. It's a resource that actually gets used up. And the digital habits most of us have are basically burning through that resource at an alarming rate, leaving us unable to do the deep, meaningful work we're really capable of. But, and this is a big but, there are ways to fix this.
So how do we fight back? Well, our very first habit is all about building a solid defense. It's about creating your own bubble. Think of it like a fortress you build around yourself to protect your focus from that constant barrage of interruptions.
So how do you build this fortress? It really comes down to 3 key steps. First, you've got to engineer your environment so there are 0 distractions. Second, you have to block out long, uninterrupted chunks of time for your most important projects. And third, and this one is so important, you have to learn to be unavailable. Seriously, you do not have to answer every call or reply to every message the second it comes in. You have to protect that bubble.
Okay, this next habit shifts our focus a little bit away from our work and toward our interactions with other people. It's all about learning how to be fully present. Because our distraction habit doesn't just hurt our productivity, it can really damage our relationships.
I mean, think about it. When you're in a conversation with someone, but you're also kind of checking your phone, you're leaving that attention residue on your screen. You're not really listening. But when you give someone the incredible gift of your full, undivided attention, you make them feel seen. You build trust. You pick up on all the little things that matter. That right there is the foundation of any real, genuine connection.
All right, habit number 3. Now, this one goes against pretty much everything our modern culture screams at us. It's about finding solitude. We're told we have to be connected 24/7, but the truth is, true genius is almost always fueled by intentional isolation.
And you don't have to take my word for it. Just look at history. From the greatest artists and inventors to the biggest titans of industry, they all had one thing in common. They spent serious time alone, away from all the noise, the diversions, and the interruptions of the world. And that's what allowed them to think deeply and create their masterpieces.
And there's some incredible brain science that explains why this works. When you finally find some solitude, your brain physically shifts from that state of scattered attention, what some people call the monkey mind, into a state of deep focus. The critical, chattering part of your brain quiets down. Your brain starts releasing feel-good neurochemicals like dopamine and serotonin. And your brainwaves actually slow down from the busy beta state into the more creative alpha and theta states. This is the biological sweet spot. It's where genius-level insights are born.
And that brings us to our final and maybe the most foundational habit of them all, mastering your morning. This is all about how to win your day before it even really gets started.
The way you start your day literally sets the tone for everything that follows. Now, the majority of people, what's the very first thing they do when they wake up? They grab their phone. They start scrolling social media, scanning emails. They immediately start their day in a reactive, distracted state. But there is a much better way.
Look, if you want to have the kinds of results that only the top 5% of people have, you have to be willing to do what the other 95% of people just won't do. And waking up to immediately flood your brain with digital noise, that's what almost everyone does. Choosing a different path isn't just a nice idea, it's absolutely essential for achieving world-class focus.
So in the end, it all comes down to a choice. And it's a choice you make every single day. Are you going to be like the majority? Always busy being busy? Always reacting to whatever pops up? Always distracted? Or are you going to choose the path of the legendary producer? The history maker who is focused, intentional, and creates work that actually matters? Because let's be honest, you really can't do both.
So I'll just leave you with this final question to think about. What masterpiece, what project, what amazing relationship, what incredible life will you build when you finally decide to stop letting distraction run your day? The potential is absolutely immense.